There's a secret truth that no one wants to admit out loud. Attracting the best talent, the kind of people who don't just clock in and out, but who ignite your vision and make it explode, that's not about perks, paychecks, or fancy titles. It's something way deeper, rawer, more electric. And if you feel stuck right now, fighting to build a team that actually gets your fire, frustrated because great people pass you by like they're ghosts, this is about to hit you with the force you need. You see, most leaders don't attract talent because they follow the rules everyone else worships. They cage themselves in what's expected, convenient, acceptable, and their teams are a mirror of that. Safe, predictable. But predictability kills. It drains energy, strangles growth, and turns once bright sparks into tired shadows. Meanwhile, true leaders, those rare few who pull people toward them like magnets, they don't do what's expected. They don't settle for comfort or cheap approval. They burn hotter, stand taller, and dare to live untamed. And people feel that, deep in their bones. That's what pulls talent in. Not the perks, not the office snacks, the raw electricity of someone who refuses to be small. If you've ever been overlooked, misunderstood, or worse, ignored by the very people you thought would rally for your vision, that pain is the same fire that fuels this. It's the sting of watching others get the loyalty, the energy, the devotion you need, while you're left grabbing at scraps. But here's the brutal truth. The world is built to filter you out, to box you in, to grind down the edge-twisting brilliance that sets you apart. It's not personal. It's the system, designed to reward sameness, silence dissent, and breed mediocrity. But the ones who attract talent? They are the glitch in the matrix, the ones who don't fit, the ones the system can't contain. So what makes them so magnetic? It's not what you think. Forget strategy sessions filled with buzzwords and polished presentations. Forget endless rounds of culture-fit questions that weed out every wild creative spark. What those leaders have is a force you already carry, but maybe don't know how to unleash. They are fiercely real, unapologetically human in a world chasing polished images. They carry a confidence that's not about ego, but about radical authenticity. They don't pretend or perform. They live, breathe, and bleed their truth, even if it scares the weaker connections away, because they know that real talent only follows what's real. This creates space, an invisible, electric field around them, where real talent wants to stand close. It's magnetic because it's rare. The moment you step into that space, you feel it vibrating through you. The permission to be your raw, messy self without wearing another mask. You can't fake this. You can only build it by tearing down every lie you've been sold about what leadership should be and daring to ask the harder questions. What do I really stand for? What fires me up when no one's watching? What can I give that no one else ever will? And here's the kicker. These leaders build networks, not teams. They don't just hire people. They craft tribes of misfits, outlaws, and dreamers who each bring a unique spark, and together form a wildfire of possibility. That's why talent wants in. They don't want another cog. They want to belong to something explosive, something that fits. The secret is that those leaders don't chase numbers or credentials. They chase energy. They look for souls who burn with the same hunger, the same refusal to settle for the ordinary. When you build that kind of connection, loyalty becomes explosive loyalty, not because you offered something on paper, but because you offered something inside, a trust so deep that leaving feels like betrayal. Building that trust and connection isn't easy. It means stripping away comfort. It means standing naked in your doubts, vulnerabilities, and contradictions and saying, "Here I am, take it or leave it." This scares most leaders stiff. But those who master this transcend fear because they know the world already has people who follow the comfortable path. What's rare is the courage to break it. And every time they do, people come rushing in, drawn by the invitation to break free with them. But this magnetic pull doesn't happen magically, and it won't come from a script or a training manual. It comes from mastering a radical mindset, one where your will is your weapon and your truth is your signal. It's about being painfully selective. Not everyone deserves to be in your circle. Talent is scarce and precious, and your time is even more so. Saying no, isn't just being picky, it's creating space for the right people to show up. And here's something leaders miss all the time. Sometimes, the people you want on your team are already fighting their own battles of silence, invisibility, and misalignment. They sit isolated, waiting for someone to see their spark. Leaders who attract talent don't just find these people, they seek them out. Because they know that transformation happens in the bonds forged between rare, misunderstood individuals. This means tearing down every system designed to grind individuals into the same shape. It means refusing to accept mediocrity disguised as culture. It means creating a network where differences are not only tolerated, but celebrated, where contrast becomes power, and where individuality fuels collective brilliance. When you dare to build that kind of space, talent doesn't just show up, it multiplies. The best want that. They crave it. Because in the noise and sameness of the world, a leader who builds a refuge for the rare becomes a magnet the brightest people can't resist. And here's why this matters not just for you, but for what's next. We're not talking about incremental change. The world is breaking its own rules faster than ever, and those stuck clinging to old systems face extinction. But the leaders who attract talent like magnets are the ones rewriting the future. They're creating networks that transcend borders, beliefs, and traditions. They're the ones unlocking human potential in ways nobody guessed possible, not by building companies or commands, but by igniting movements of individuals who don't belong anywhere else but together. If that nervous, restless fire inside your chest is screaming louder than ever, it's because you were never meant to play small, to swallow your edge and cut your light to fit the room. You were meant to shatter it, to spark something lasting, and the only way to do that is to become magnetic. To unveil your truth so ferociously that talent can't help but be drawn to you. To build a space where the rare find each other, where brilliance becomes shared power, and where the misunderstood become unstoppable. The question isn't, how can I attract talent? The question is, how can you unleash the power inside, refuse the rules you were sold, and dare to stand so raw, so open, so unrelenting, that the right people have no choice but to follow? This is no longer about hiring. It's about liberation. Freedom not promised by systems, but claimed by those who make their own path. And this is the promise to hold tight. It's not easy, it's not comfortable, but it's real. It's magnetic. It's yours, if you're ready to burn through every lie that's ever held you back and become the leader who doesn't just manage talent, but sets it on fire. Because what the world needs is not more followers. It needs leaders who are electric, untamed, and wild enough to attract the brilliance that will remake tomorrow. So if you want to become that leader, the one who pulls the rarest people out of the shadows and into a future you create together, the journey begins with one thing: unlearning everything that told you how to fit in, and starting now to build a world where your fire is free, and so is everyone who follows it.